Hey GROW Comm, today's conversation is huge. This is the new cut, the new intro for the Foundational 4. I originally shot this on my phone. We got better quality cameras, we got better quality audio and light. I need to bring this to you in the most concise, highest quality, most value form I can do because this is a huge conversation. The Foundational 4 is everything to moving your life forward. This is your health, obviously important. Your love, your relationships, obviously important. Mind and money. These are the 4 areas of your life that you need to have a plan for. People feel like, oh, I'm never getting enough done. I never do enough. Well, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a map that leads you to what do I need to be doing every day? What are my targets that I have to accomplish to truly mark this day as a success? You're always gonna feel lost. You're always gonna feel stressed out. There are all kinds of forms of people that have talked about this process of these areas, focusing on how important they are to growth. Everywhere you look, these are the foundational areas of your life. As you learn from listening to gurus and coaches and this and that, and as you read more, you start to see this echoed in books and all over from like the beginning of whatever coaching means to you. These areas are crucial. If you want to expand your life, if you want to grow, you need to have an action plan. We all get stressed out, right? We all get stressed over something. We all get beat down. And when I'm beat down, it's really easy to be like, man, let me sit back and try to figure out what to do because I'm lost right now. That's not what you want to do. You have to keep putting one foot in front of the other if you want to move forward. The Foundational 4 is creating a map so you always know what to do. Even if I'm beat down, I know that in this sector, I need to do this and this today. In this sector, I need to do this and this today. In this conversation, in these different sections, we're gonna talk about what that looks like. How do we do that? How do we build our map? What does that look like for me? To give you a little bit of an idea, because I've seen this and I've heard of this forever, but I always wondered, what does it look like for someone else? What is someone else doing? So I at least know, okay, that's exactly what they're doing. Cool, I'll model mine off of them. And that's why this content's so important, because I want you to have this and I want you to know exactly what I'm talking about so you can go and then just model this. Learn from other people that are doing things that are making them successful and use that for you so you don't have to waste the time of trying to learn it all, trying to create it all. Just implement it and move forward. Why this is so important is these other areas. Making your business successful is huge, but your business's foundation is only as strong as the relationships, the love, or your health, your ability to run and charge at things. It's only as strong as all of these other areas are. Your mind, I love mindset conversations. Your mindset is everything. Your state, the way you feel, the way you react to things, your certainty, it is everything. So your business can only be as strong as all those other sectors are. We ultimately lose if we win at money, but we suck at health. I'm 200 pounds overweight and I can't play with my kids, but I got a lot of money. It's worthless. I have the best health in the world, but I'm so broke that I can't buy my kids food. It's worthless. All these different variations of this, of not having equal success or at least gaining momentum in every sector, is not ideal. And this is the strategy that helps you create the map so you get those things. You have equal success in equal areas. The brief overview, the introduction to this, the introduction to the Foundational 4, is this is focusing on the 4 areas of your life that you need to improve so you can win in all, which will help you when you're winning in one, it helps you win in all the others better. It's going in depth in each sector, talking about how you break that into a 90-day plan to allow you to ultimately win at life. Because this isn't about just having an awesome lawn care, landscape business, or whatever kind of business you have. It's about having an awesome fucking life. And if you don't have that, and if you're not striving for that, I don't know what you're here for. That's all I got to say. Let's get into these other videos and let's break this down exactly how you do that and how I do some of my sectors, some of the things I focus on, so it gives you ideas. That's what I always needed. I'm like, why is no one talking about what their actual action items are so I can see how big or how little or what those are. So let's get into this. We'll start off with health. How many of you have done 75 hard and have seen massive benefits from it? Well, it's because of health and mentality and multiple things. 75 hard is really like a little bit of a primer towards Foundational 4. You are having little things that you have to do in every area, right? I have to work out twice a day. I have to drink a gallon of water. I have to not drink alcohol daily. I have to read 10 pages of a book. Isn't this funny? You got a 75-day plan. It's a map of the things you have to do. And it just so happens to push you in some of the ways in the right direction. So You could start 75 hard and use that as a basis for some of the foundation, like the groundwork for this. But we're talking about health. And the reason I was getting at this is everyone sees a lot of health gains from 75 hard if you do it right. And everyone usually says those 75 days are the most successful days in their business. And that's why health is so important. Everyone gets into business and they talk about how they don't have time. I can't get into a gym. I can't make it work. La da 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 da. Everything is about making time. Don't say you don't have time. Just say you're not a priority, because that's what you're saying when you say you don't have time for your health. You're just saying health is not a priority, because business is a bigger priority, because we think of this inevitable major win in the future. So you're going to give away health to someday hopefully win in business. It's a bad play of the cards. 90-day plan for health. What are the goals? We need to be thinking about where do we end at the end of 90 days. So you're looking at this quarterly. So let's talk about it's the first quarter of the year. What's our goal? Maybe it's to lose 10 pounds. Maybe I want to be able to run a mile in X amount of time. Maybe just have the energy at the end of the day to still go and play with my kids or take on another event. Let's just say losing 10 pounds, because it's really easy metric to look at and work with. My goal at the end of 90 days is I lose 10 pounds. Now we back work that. Well, maybe that means we need to work out 3 times a week, and we need to eat X amount of calories every day because of our body size, our body composition, what we know we need to lose, because we know we need to inevitably take in less than we burn, so we have a little bit of overage of what we burn, so we're going down in weight over that time span. So we mark that out. These days of the week I work out. This is the total amount of allotted calories every day. That is my piece. I do a 45-minute workout twice a day. That's what's on this sector, my health sector of my foundational 4. This might be different to you. This might be I just need to lose 10 pounds. For me, my overall metric is I want to be in the best health I have ever been in by the end of this year. And so like really by each quarter, what do I need to do to push it a little bit further? So I'm always cranking it up a little bit more. Because when you don't have the plan, when you feel like shit, when you're hating things, it's really easy to say, I'll catch up tomorrow. I'll get back to it. And that's when you start going backwards. And that's when you stop winning. And that's when you look around and you feel like you haven't done enough because you haven't achieved the things that you know you need to achieve. And somehow your mind is holding you accountable for that. And that's what gives you that anxious feeling. I used to hate that anxious feeling of, man, I feel like I should be doing more. I don't know what I should be doing. The biggest problem with this is you always never feel like you're in the right place because, oh man, I should be with my kids, but I haven't done this. Like, this is what gives you clarity of that. So it's time to talk about love. This is probably one of my favorite areas of the foundational 4. This is the one that truly, more than anything, makes you feel like you're in the right place at all times. And I know if you're watching this, you're just like me, and you have a business, and there's a lot of times where you feel like, I'm at home and I'm guilty because I'm not at work, and I'm at work and I'm guilty because I'm not at home. And this one area of the foundational 4 is they all contribute to you not feeling that anymore. But this one especially is really important for that, because love is your relationships. What are you doing to actively, consciously pour into your relationships every day? And it's easy to just think, I try, or I work real hard. And that's probably one of the biggest downfalls I see of people just like you and me. It's not just you. You're not alone. I'm the same way. There was a time in my relationship, my relationship's in the best place it's ever been in because of the foundational 4. Truly, because of that and some other education I've done, it's the best. You tie this together with really love. You also need to build your 90-day map for love. But when you're doing that, and for your spouse, you need to read the 5 love languages, and then you need to integrate all that together. But that's a whole different story. Building this out and making sure that you're doing things for these people, the right things for people to make them feel cared about, to fill their tanks, is crucial. Because I can't tell you as a business owner, what I was getting to just a minute ago before I got off on the love languages is how many times have you felt like, man, I'm working my ass off for this family. Not everybody fucking signed up for that. And you're wondering why your relationship's crumbling. That doesn't mean anything to anybody. A lot of people just want your time. They just want you. They don't care that you're out there. They didn't necessarily sign up originally to have someone that's going to push out into business, that's going to explode with growth of business because this future financial game or whatever it is, or it doesn't maybe really mean anything to them, or maybe they don't believe in it. I know if you're watching this, 99.9% of you have felt that way, that you're working your ass off to make a better life for your family. And why doesn't my spouse appreciate that? Okay, so this is the conversation for you. This is where we need to be working on this, and this is where the 90-day plan for love is crucial. For my wife, like I know because of the 5 love languages that acts of service mean the world to her. That means every morning I get up and I do the dishes. I get up and I do the laundry. To me, they seem like little remedial tasks. I never gave it any credit that like that would make a difference, but it did. And through me reading the love language, I figured out how big little acts of services really are to my wife on filling her tank. A couple little things like that in a date night. So actively, we have a date night, X nights a week, right? For my kids, we have a game night. We have kids night. Like there's all these things that we put on there. Really, karate has become one of my things because I want to be connected with Jace and I want to have all these things together. And so I put those down as things to create the connection that I'm wanting to create with people, and I map it out because I'm wanting the best relationship with my wife I've ever had. I'm wanting the most connection with my team members. I'm wanting to have people feel appreciated on my team. It sounds big, but it's so tiny. It's so easy. But the real act of having the plan, I have the plan, I look at my schedule, I've actually laid it out on my schedule, so I do these things. Maybe it's once a week I do something special for my wife. These things, laying this out and having a plan to where you know exactly what to do all the time, you're showing all this appreciation to everyone else, and it's just gonna foster more love. Now we have a game plan of how to win with the people we love and care about the most. Can you imagine? You've been living this long and you might not even have a plan of how do I show love to the people that matter the most to me? How do I show I care to the people that matter the most to me? Because I used to think like even employees, you hear people say like a paycheck's enough, they should know I appreciate them. Think about how rudimentary and ridiculous that sounds. When you are capable of so much more. Now, because we get to take advantage of what we're talking about in the foundational 4 and build out a plan for love on how am I going to connect with the people that matter the most. Inevitably, you'll do this. And people will be like, damn, that person's really on fire. And people will start mimicking some of the things you do. The good you put out in the world, it's crazy how much value it brings to the world. It's crazy what it does to the world. Round 3 of the foundational 4. Today we're talking about the mind. 3/4 of the way through this. You're getting some real gold on how we do this, how we come up with a plan to have a better life. And I think if I asked you to raise your hand, who wants to make more money, who wants to have a better life, la da 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 da, who all's gonna raise their hand? It's gonna be me, it's gonna be you, and it's gonna be everyone else that's watching this video. And your mind has a lot to do with that. So this is another topic that I'm super passionate about. It's funny. I'm saying in each one of these, how passionate. I'm passionate about love. I'm passionate about health. What happens is you start building these maps, you start planning this way, and all of a sudden you realize how passionate you are about all these. And you don't just realize how passionate about all these you just realize, shit, these are important. I can focus on these instead of just wandering through life. I can make a lot of progress. You know, they say a plane, like if it changes its degree, it's like degree angle. Just like 1 degree. It doesn't feel like anything. No one can feel it. No one notices it even happens. But if it travels 1,000 miles, 3,000 miles, whatever distance it travels, it can be on a different continent. That's why having a map is so important. You don't want to end up in a different continent on any area of the foundational 4. So we're talking about mind today. What does the 90-day plan for your mind look like? So just like all the others, we broke down all of these, but your mind is something that is so crucial. This is the thing that, like, the relationships are big because they can all affect your mind. You've only got so much bandwidth to give. If you allow all kinds of things to eat up your mind, the bad relationships, the bad this, like it's all eating up the availability of your mind to go out and produce new things, to produce new ideas, to act on all of these other things, to be focusing on your health, to be focusing on your love, to be focusing on your money. You've only got so much available. So you have to guard your mind. You know, your mind is like a garden. If you just let it go, weeds will grow. So you've got to actively be putting good things into it. You've got to be actively weeding the garden. You've got to be actively managing your garden. So what does that look like? What's the 90-day plan? What are the things you do here? Well, there's so much, you know, in your 90-day plan. Maybe once a quarter, you're going to go to some kind of conference. Maybe once a week, you're going to commit to showing up to GROW Comm and being on the coaching call where we can answer questions. Maybe that's one of the things for your mind because you're putting information in your mind. You're spending time around good people. Maybe it's we're going to read every day we're gonna read 10 pages, like a 75 hard kind of thing. Like I said, 75 hard primes you for this. 90-day plan that's really huge is, hey, you know, I'm just all over the place. I can never focus. I've got so much going on. I'm the typical entrepreneur. Every time something's shiny, I look that way. And maybe it's that I'm gonna meditate 10 minutes a day because I want more control over my mind. And it's funny that meditating is looked at in so many interesting ways, but truly just the act of trying to not think about anything and control your mind, the focus and the things you can gain from that are so powerful. It's so revolutionary what you can gain from that, what that means for you. So let's set it up. Let's see, what are the things you need? It's clarity. Maybe it's clarity. So let's talk about doing meditation 10 minutes a day. Then I want to pour into my mind because I want to become better. So I want to learn more about business and becoming a better leader. So I'm gonna read books. I'm gonna read 10 pages a day of a book that progresses my mind. Everybody, today it's money. I've said on each one of these, I love this conversation and I love this conversation as well. But this is probably one of the maps that all of you are most concerned about building. And I'm really just telling you what I have on my maps so you can see how you would build this and what this looks like. Because it's frustrating to hear all the rah-rah hoopla of how this is so good and all the feel-good fuzzy things that it does for you. It's a lot easier to just hear what someone does and be like, okay, cool, I can do that. I can base things off of that. And so the map on money is all of the things you do to make money. So for me, or to build businesses or to build future income. So for me, it's like, what am I gonna do to get to 100 members in GROW Comm this year? You know, and then I break that down to what we're gonna do quarterly to break those goals down. How many do we need to add each quarter? And what do I need to do each day to be contributing to that? A lot of that, like on my map, you see me come on and do a GROW Comm live, like live video, like that's on my map. What are the goals? We always have to assess what's the 90-day goal. Where do we wanna be? And maybe we need our year goal to break that down. So like GROW Comm, year goal is 100 members in GROW Comm. I'm not shooting for anything huge. Like it's just a passion project of where I want to bring value to more people, right? So that was a pretty achievable goal. So I'm like, hey, we've got 30 something members, 40 members. Okay, subtract that from 100, divide that by, we've got this many quarters to do it. Here's what we got to hit. So here's my number and boom. Now here's my goals based off of that. Keep this simple. Don't overthink this. In business, trying to grow your business. What are the big action plans you need to do to grow your business? Maybe it's you have to call 5 people, 5 outbound calls a day, 15 outbound calls a day, 100 outbound calls a day. I don't know. But it's a target. It's a thing that you have to do for whatever X amount of growth you want. I want this, I'm gonna do that. I want this, I'm gonna do that. So what are those 90-day goals like? So mine for business and everything, like shooting content is a huge part of what I do. Another one, send an estimate every day. It sounds so basic, but for what I do, it's send an estimate every day for Florida. Contact 2 people every day. These are all things that are based around the growth, the goals I want. I want to get Illinois or Florida to 100,000 a month, so I need to sell more. And as simple as sending an estimate every day, sometimes when you're like, oh man, like I don't feel like anything's going right today, and you're like, oh, I need to get that estimate sent. I'm gonna come up with somebody to send an estimate to try to sell some more work. It gets you back on path. So this is really one of the easier ones to think about. Maybe your goal is I want to have $1 million in sales this year. And then you break that down to what do I need to do quarterly to make sure that happens? And then here's this little marketing plan, this marketing action I need to take daily. I need to put these people in the right place. I need to put this in the right place. And it's all about coming up with the daily action plans, because inevitably you realize that 80-20 rule, it's only 20% of what you do that creates 80% of the results. And a lot of us float around trying to do 100% of the shit all the time. And that's why we're all like running around with chickens with our heads cut off and doing a million things, and a lot of them don't matter. So just like before this, my dad called me, told him, hey, I gotta shoot one more video. You're telling me about the problem. I totally understand the problem. I'm gonna call this other client. We gotta move a job forward. Is there anything else? Well, I wanna know. I'm like, okay, there's not really anything else. I said, oh, sounds good. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I'm gonna call these people. I'll talk to you soon. Having this map allows you to have those fast conversations with people because people just want to steal time by nature. They don't mean to, but people don't know how much you value your time. So when you're in your business and we're on the money talk, which is a really cool talk because now we're talking about how do we make more money? How do we expand our businesses? How do we have more income for ourselves? How do we have more opportunity? How do we overfill our cups so we can fill the cups of everyone around us? That kind of conversation. It guides you down the path and it allows you to be more assertive with people, and it allows you to cut through the bullshit to get to where you really need to be faster.